So, for context, I truly began to understand how bad TDS balancing was just a few days ago. In fact, the exact moment my brain cell realized how terrible balancing was is when I was reading messages on the Discord when Night 1 first released, and somebody goes, "Why is Firework Tech and Shotgunner not working?" And some other guy replies, "They disabled it." So I go into a sandbox game of my own to go take a look, and they actually disabled it. And at this very moment, my understanding of how terrible balancing was went to an entirely different level. There are a lot of things wrong with the balancing in TDS, but what makes me really mad is when they can't figure out how to balance stuff and they just ban it. Everyone knows that Shotgunner and Firework Tech was an extremely good combination. Me and my friends used them for a lot of speedruns, and it was generally considered one of the best, if not the best tower combo in the game at the time. Now, of course, this combo did have some downsides, and it really only worked for the base game modes, getting overwhelmed in the other special game modes, so the developers kind of left it untouched for basically the entire year. Until they just randomly banned the combo, which is not the first time they banned something from working when they can't balance. In Night 2 and 3 of Hex Escape, when Gatling Gun was in its absolute prime, they straight up banned the tower. And that was a massive problem because Gatling Gun released a few weeks before the Hex Escape event, and everyone naturally grinded for it, thinking it would be good for the event, only for it to be banned because the developers don't know how to balance effectively. And whenever they do finally get to balance it, they mega nerfed Gatling Gun to obscurity, and I've never seen anybody use it since. And this is kind of a cycle that the developers fall into. They rework these towers, make them good, then nerf them to uselessness, and then buff them again, and the cycle keeps on repeating itself. This cycle affects every other tower around that stage of progression because there's always one tower that is objectively better than the other tower, until the good tower either gets nerfed or the bad tower gets mega buffed, making the other one completely useless. I mean, I personally think you're lying if you said you unironically used Golden Scout before it got buffed, and now it makes all the other golden towers besides Golden Mini look mid in comparison. In one balancing change, Golden Scout went from possibly one of the worst golden towers in the entire game to being able to solo hardcore and make it even more of a joke than it already is. And this will probably result in Golden Scout either getting mega nerfed again, or every other golden tower being buffed to even compare to Scout. Some other weird balancing also happens with event towers where they will realize, yo, this tower's like 100 years old, we kinda gotta rework it. So they buff it to god status, sell the game pass, and then nerf it a few days later. And it's a real dilemma too, because not everyone has access to these towers. So can you really make them too OP? I don't really know. Something else I don't know how to fix entirely is bad balancing, but banning stuff in the first place is not a step in the right direction. Unless it's like temporary and it needs like a complete mega fix, like when military base glitch happened, but that was really the only time I could justify banning a tower. I don't know if this is temporary or not, and even if it is, I could see them possibly just nerfing Firework Tech and making it completely useless. I think they could soften the blow of balancing by asking for more community feedback, actually play testing their towers and not releasing them in an unbalanced state, and stop with the mega nerfs and buffs and make micro adjustments to the stats of the tower, not completely changing the purpose of it in one balancing change. There are also two other things that I want to talk in this video really quickly. The first one being mission quests. I was going to make a separate video on this, but I realized I can't really yap about mission quests for that long, but I can include a small little segment about them in this video. So basically, I think mission quests are the worst system in TDS, flat out. Maybe second worst because of the skill tree system, but it's still extremely terrible. Right now, mission quests are there for Paradoxum to farm more playtime and more money, and that's literally it. An ideal mission quest system would make you use a tower in a fun, unique way for a reward. It'll be something to bring you out of your comfort zone, but it's not going to be too taxing. It should be something to do while you're bored, and something you could do to rack up a cool new skin. Instead, what they do is make it a complete grind fest that makes you go out of your way to do extremely boring tasks for a long time. The worst part is it's not even like a challenge or anything. It's literally just do X amount of damage with X tower, or win fallen mode X amount of times with X tower. The worst ones by far are also the ones you have to do hardcore with, and there are a few of those too. Some of them you have to even beat hardcore multiple times, which is like 40 minutes of complete filler gameplay. The reason they do all of this is so they can put this nice green button saying skip the grind and buy here, so the player really thinks about what hellhole they're about to dive headfirst into, and hopefully for Paradoxum, they cave in, skip the grind, and just give them some free money. The last thing I want to talk about really quickly are bugs, because the release of Night 1 really made me realize how buggy this game is. So the craziest thing to me right now is how easily your game can brick. And by brick, I mean the game effectively freezes and stops working. My game bricked a lot during Act 1, and it was so annoying because the act was easy, but we had to restart so many times because the game decided they wanted to start breaking. This happened randomly, during curses, and now I discovered a hacker just completely bricks your game. And that sucks, because hacker is by far one of my favorite towers, and it's so good. And now it just bricks your game if you place it. And apparently it's been like that for weeks. I mean, just watch this clip.
Dude, no one has made a tower.
My UI broke! My UI broke! Are you kidding me? My UI broke!
God's crash out all time.
Gang! My UI broke! What are we doing?
I mean, yeah, it kind of speaks for itself. Also, apparently you can't rejoin stuff anymore. I don't know if it's just me, but I was playing on a Shrio map, my game bricked, and I just could not rejoin at all when I went into the lobby. There's also placement limits deciding not to work, cutscenes being forced to play, and certain skins just falling through the map. But, yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, have a great day. Drop a comment if you agree with me, or if you don't agree with me. And, yeah, thank you.